Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the FIM Motocross World Championship Round 6. We are at Águeda for the MXGP of Portugal. My name is Paul Malin. Thanks for joining us live, as always, trackside for every single round. This, of course, the latest stage of the 2019 season. Up next, the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. The first race was something else between the two main title protagonists. There was a lot of action in there as well. But we are in a fabulous location. Another one for 2019 Portugal. We're in the northwest of the country, about 15-20 minutes away from the coast of Aveiro. We're about an hour and a half south of Porto, and it really is a colourful part of the world, as you would expect. But we are here to go racing. We've been doing it all weekend long, and this Águeda circuit first hosted a Grand Prix back in 1985. It was a 125 Grand Prix back then. It was Dave Stride, boss, who was victorious on his Venco Honda. But Tony Cairoli has the most wins here, 5 in total, 4 of those on a Yamaha. The last came in 2017. Is he going to be standing on the top step of the podium today? Will there be another winner in 2019? Because so far, Cairoli has 4 Grand Prix wins. Geiser has 1. That was Trentino just a couple of rounds ago. This 1,630-meter long racetrack, though, is going to be a real challenge for the riders. Here's what happened MXGP race 1 earlier. Tony Cairoli over on the right-hand side. DeSalle followed him into the turn. And so too did the number 4 of Arno Tonas. Geiser, though, emerged in second position as they exited turn 2. A little bit of bar banging going on. Just a couple positions further back, we had Gauthier Paulin jumping into 4th place behind his Yamaha teammate, but it all went wrong. Top of your screen, lost the front on a wet patch. He went down and buried himself underneath his bike. He re-emerged eventually and fought his way through to a pretty impressive 15th position. Opening lap, of course, Jonas found his way past the 77 of Lapino to move into 7, as the two Yamahas, the factory and the satellite machines of Siwa 91 and 4 Tonas, battled over supremacy. Van Horbeek and Benoit Paturel also were in a bit of a shindig. And so too, the rider who was on the podium here 2 years ago, number 27 in white, Arminas Jasikonis. The best he could do, though, was 11th by the time the flag fell. Cairoli always had about a second or so over Geiser, whilst Tonas eventually nudged his way at the inside on lap 7 to find that pass on Siwa. Anstey, riding with stitches in his right elbow after crashing yesterday, was out of the race and out of the points. Jasikonis found his way down the inside of Simpson, but then Cairoli made a mistake. He stalled the engine. Geiser didn't need a second invite. He closed down the door on the triple as well. Gave Cairoli no way back. Cairoli did try to respond on a number of occasions, though, but Geiser managed to keep his Honda right where he needed it to be. And in the end, it was Geiser who was victorious by just over a second from Tony Cairoli. Fantastic race. Arno Tonas came home 3rd for Yamaha. Fantastic atmosphere again, starting to build. Lisa Lehnen was down on the grid a few moments ago with Sean Simpson from RFX KTM, powered by PAR Homes. But before that, Paul Jonas for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Let's hear what they have to say ahead of MXGP Race 2, shall we?
We are almost ready for the final race of the day, but as always, I'm going to catch up with some of the guys. The first one being Paul Jonas. I want to talk about last weekend, first podium in the MXGP class. How much was a relief to have that, and also so early on in your maiden season?
Yeah, actually the first podium in MXGP class felt really special, and you know, maybe I didn't expect myself that it would come so early after the off season what I had, but you know, it was really good and extra confidence boost for these races for upcoming season, and I'm feeling really good, getting more and more comfortable in MXGP class and on my factory 450 Husqvarna, and it's getting better and better, and we still need to build, you know, for sure. I don't expect to be on a podium every weekend, but we will do the best to be contenders as soon as possible.
And of course, tell us about that first race here in Portugal. Perhaps not the best start, so quite a bit of work to do.
Yeah, didn't get the best start, but you know, managed to make some good passes in the first laps, and then came back to 7, so which was pretty good. And happy with my riding. Now just need to focus more on the start, get a decent start, and then hopefully we can get battle with more top guys.
Thanks, Paul. Have a great race. The second rider I'd like to catch up with is Sean Simpson. Sean, different setup for you this weekend, isn't it? We know that you don't have your mechanic here. Just tell us what's happened.
Yeah, basically my mechanic for this year, Rye, he's in hospital. He's slipped a disc in his back and yeah, not doing so well really. So heal up well, Rye. Hopefully you're back next week in France, and if not, then make sure we come back 100% because we got work to do.
Yeah, okay, no pressure. Tell us about that first race.
Tough. Start is key every weekend, but no more so this weekend. I mean, it just, I don't know, the whole race seems to be won in this little bit in front of us, and I don't know, I just got out the gate in around 16th, ended up 13th, not really what I wanted, so hopefully this one, better start, better finish.
Thanks a lot, Sean, thank you. Thanks for chatting to us. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for the final race, MXGP Race 2.
Here's how the top 5 look in the championship then, coming into MXGP Race 2. Tony Cairoli now 37 points, clear of Tim Geiser. Paulin is 3rd, DeSalle 4th, Jasikonis is in 5th, so DeSalle leapfrogs AJ into 4th place after the Belgian got 6th, and Jasikonis came home in 11th place in race 1. Here's how the riders go to the line for MXGP Race 2 then here. MXGP of Portugal. Tony Cairoli on pole for the 3rd time. That was his qualifying race win yesterday from Tim Geiser. Alessandro Lupino, career best in MXGP for him, ahead of DeSalle, Paulin, Tonus, Lieber, Fevre, Pauls Jonas and Tommy Searle. Tenno Leop was next, and it was Simpson, Seawork, Koldenoff, Tixier, Kevin Strybos, and the rest of the guys. Benoit Paturel, AJ wasn't happy with that, nor too was Van Horbeek, but today is race day. Let's see how they can turn those qualifying positions and poor gate positions into good solid points here. Tim Geiser, Team HRC, picked up his 4th race win in Moto number 1, and he'll be looking to do the same again here in race 2. But Tony Cairoli, the number 222, he is the championship leader, hence the red plate on the front of that Red Bull KTM. He'll be doing all he can to minimise the kind of mistakes that cost him the win, potentially, in race 1. 3rd was Arno Tonus, the Monster Energy Volvo Yamaha rider, was in fantastic form on the number 4 machine. The Swiss rider edging out his fellow countryman, Jeremy Seawer, on the Monster Energy full factory Yamaha MXGP official squad bike, where he picked up his best result in MXGP. Has that kind of sparked life into Jeremy Seawer? Is that another milestone reached and another psychological barrier? Oh, gone from top 6 all of a sudden to a 4th, knocking on the door for a top 3. We'll soon find out, won't we? Julian Lieber, Monster Energy Kawasaki Racing Team, fantastic ride for him as well. Started 5th, finished in 5th, ahead of his teammate Clement DeSalle, number 25 of Belgium. But the 461 back from injury, Roman Fevre, fell whilst in 4th in qualifying yesterday, recovered to 8th, but he was 9th in race 1. But no pressure on his shoulders, just trying to ride his way back into some kind of form ahead of his home Grand Prix in a week's time. There is Clement DeSalle, the MX Panda. Back up to 4th in the championship as we head into race 2 at the expense of Jasikonis, who was 11th in race 1. Gauthier Paulin, what can he do for Monster Energy Volvo Yamaha? He fell at the start. That 5 turns in race 1, came from last. Eventually brought himself home in 15th place. I spoke to Louis Hosters, the team manager, in the break, and he said in himself he's fine, no injuries, no damage in that respect. So all good for Gauthier Paulin. Alessandro Lupino put in a fantastic performance on his Gavin van Venrooy Kawasaki in qualifying. He got 10th in race 1. Just give you a quick reminder then, as we're about to get the green flag at the back. Geiser was victorious in race 1. Cairoli was 2nd. Tonus, Seawer, Lieber, DeSalle, Pauls Jonas, Glenn Koldenoff, Roman Fevre and Alessandro Lupino were your top 10. The Fly Racing 15-second board has just gone up then. Tony Cairoli in gate number 1. Geiser alongside him. So we're going to be looking over on the right-hand side when we go wide from the first turn. Is that where the start is going to come from here in race 2? Keep your eyes peeled. A great jump for Tony Cairoli, and Geiser gets squeezed, but it's Tonus! Ah, Tonus grabbed the foxhole shot. 2 guys going down. I think that might be the 18 of Brilyakov and one of the Hunt Metals guys, but DeSalle, I think that was, no, it was Lieber who was unseated at the top of the hill. DeSalle leads the way, though, from Cairoli and Tonus. Paulin is right there as well. So, too, is Roman Fevre. This is where Paulin fell. in race 1. Geiser in about 6th place. He goes around the outside of 2 Yamahas. DeSalle leads though, the 3-time winner here from 2010, 11, 12 and 13, I think it was, or 10, 11, 12, when he was Suzuki mounted. Trying to distance himself early on here. Cairoli second. There is, though, it's a 91 actually of Siwa, not the 461 of Romain Febvre, who's in 7th place. Oh, Geiser, how did he save that? He got a wicked kick up the back end there as he went in that far corner. Watch this, Geiser, almost out the front door and into oblivion. He lives to fight another lap around this Aguilar circuit. But he is in, what, 1, 2, 3, he is in around about 6th, 7th position. There he is, just behind the number 4 of Arno Tonus, 3rd in race 1. And Jeremy Siwa locked right onto the rear wheel of his fellow countryman, just like he was in that first race. Here's Cairoli jumping long and a bit heavy on the landing into the final turn. But it's DeSalle who leads. Cairoli there second. The 4 of Tonus is 3rd. Geiser, I think, just edging out. He has. So Geiser, 2:43, finds himself in 4th position as we head into the first official full lap. Siwa just behind him in 5th, Paulin 6th, Febvre 7th, Jonas 8th, Koldenhoff 9th, and Van Horebeek is in 10th place. Simpson 11th, Lupino 12th, Searle 13th, Benoit Patrel 14th, Lieber, Gold, Bogus, De Wolf, Jasikonis, Prylyakov. DeSalle uphill for Monstrenji Kawasaki. He was the only guy that took a race win last year and an overall Grand Prix victory other than the KTMs of Herlings and Cairoli. And that was in Russia. We're heading there in about 3 weeks' time. But Tim Geiser knows he cannot hang around here. Here he is on the Honda with the white helmet, the 243. Just behind him is the 91 and the 21 of Siwa and Paulin. Febvre right behind as well, the 461. So Febvre in 7th. Geiser here in 4th place. This is where he had that kick a lap ago that almost, well, not ended his race, but almost struggling to stay in a straight line at the moment, asking all the power at the rear wheel of that Honda. Looking to go around the outside of number 4, Arno Tonus. This will make for an interesting podium, won't it? Because DeSalle was in 6th, he's currently leading. Geiser, he was victorious in race 1. He's currently down in 4th place. So Tony Cairoli was 2nd in race number 1. He is 2nd here in race 2. DeSalle sets the fastest lap of the race, though, at 50.2. Even this early on, that is like an important milestone. 51s for everybody else. In fact, 50 for Geiser, 50 for Paulin. Cairoli doing his best to break free from the carnage behind him. The 4 of Tonus coming into land. Geiser looks to go wide and tries to go tight, but Tonus already on the line that the Slovenian wanted. Paulin still hasn't been able to find his way past the number 91 of Siwa. Febvre observing closely. Just here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders. There's Jonas in white. He's in 8th place for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Geiser tries to give the wide open throttle technique. Put the scares on the number 4 of Arno Tonus, but didn't work. Track drying out as well now towards the end of this race. It's going to be loose and marbly on top as the dry weather continues to pull the stones out of the surface and onto the top of the racetrack. This part of the racetrack in particular was difficult yesterday in qualifying around about the same time of day, but an easy move in the end. Geiser on Tonus moves him up into 3rd place. Tonus cuts to the inside. Siwa looks to go around the outside in white. 2 Monster Energy Wilbo Yamahas either side of the full factory Monster Energy Yamaha of Siwa there, number 91. Here's how Geiser went through. A nice inside line. Door was left wide open by Tonus. Again, no invites needed. Siwa and Paulin ganging up on the number 4 of Tonus as they hit the line in 4th, 5th and 6th, but it's DeSalle who has a 2-second advantage over Tony Cairoli. Geiser now in third. Tonus on the number 4 is in fourth. Seawer fifth. Portland sixth. Febvre, Jonas, Glenn Coldenough, standing construct KTM. And then Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, the Honda SR Motor Blues, the privateer Honda. Again, Portland looks to dive down the inside of the 91 of Seawer. Whole host of factory and satellite Yamahas. Led out by Tonus, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, 4 of them in the blue train. As they try to keep the red Honda of Geiser in their sights. But he has another thing on his mind. Tony Cairoli, cut to the inside here from Seaway. Thought he'd made a move on the number 4 there. This freight train here, 4 riders, all fighting over 4th place. Tonus, Seawer, Portland, Febvre. Febvre riding his way back into form after missing all the action as Seawer goes around the inside. He would have seen, he makes a mistake though. He would have seen Geiser do that. A lap ago with some success. And he uses it to his own advantage. Crisscrossing on the step down there. Tonus now under pressure on the number 4 from his teammate 21, Portland, who can't leave the door open to his fellow Frenchman, Romain Febvre, because he'll have a sniff and he'll be in as well in no time at all. Seawer goes wide, he messes up. Tonus was tight in the final corner in the first race, and it was pretty quick through there. How much effort did he put in, though, in that first race? He was putting in fast lap after fastest lap. And he kept Cairoli and Geiser in his sights right to the very end of the race. Romain Febvre looking to go alongside Gauthier Portland, but Portland will have a tighter line. Close the door on the 461. Takes a sneaky look over his shoulder, though. Sees Febvre there. This time, Febvre looking to go to the outside. Seawer and Tonus. Portland, Febvre, the 2 satellite Yamaha, Monster Energy Wilbo Yamahas, sandwiched between the 2 factory Yamahas of Seawer and Febvre in 4th and 7th. Pulls Jonas on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna here in white, just behind these guys. He's still there in 8th place. Glenn Coldenough is in 9th. 10th is Van Hoorbeek. Lieber 11th. Simpson 12th. Sale 13th. Benoit Pacharel is 14th. Lupino 15th. I think we've lost Tunnel Leop from 16th place. If that's the case, then Arminas Jasikonis, Brian Bogus, Anton Gol. Right, what's DeSalle done? He set the fastest lap a minute ago. It gets a little bit squirrely. He was 2.2 seconds clear of Cairoli as he hit the line at the end of lap 3. We're almost at the end of lap 4. Fastest lap of the race, though, to the Belgian on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. He continues to lead after 3 laps. Geiser has broken free as well from this Yamaha train. So DeSalle then continues to lead, but is that gap coming down from 2.2 to Cairoli? It looks like it might be, you know. Tony Cairoli has got that gap down from 2.2 to 0.9 of a second as he homes in on Clément DeSalle. But it's Tim Geiser who just set the fastest lap of the race on lap 4. 2.3 seconds behind the leader, but all over the back of Tony Cairoli as they head up out of turn 1 and into turn 2. The 4 Yamahas of Seawer, Tonus, Portland and Febvre continue to fight for supremacy under the Blue Crew awnings. Geiser, though, he is a man on a mission. A 49.7 for him, a 50.4 for Cairoli, a 51.7 for DeSalle. There they are at the bottom of the hill. It looked like Tonus was about to find his way back past Seawer, but Seawer hangs on. Here he is, still leading this train of blue. Throw the flag out now. Geiser would be your overall winner with a win and third, 45 points. Cairoli would be second on 44 with 2 seconds. Third would be DeSalle on 40. And then Seawer 36, Tonus 36. Not over yet, though. Tony Cairoli might have his own little say here. Fantastic ride this from Tim Geiser. He's done well to bridge the gap, having broken free from the Yamahas to get onto the back of the KTM. There's Jonas, and then in the bottom turn now we have Glenn Koldenoff. Good ride for the KTM rider from the Netherlands. Right, 0.9. Fastest lap last time was 1:49, Tim Geiser. Are we looking at more fast laps? Personal best for Cairoli here at 1:50.3. That gap still about the same as it was just under 2 minutes ago. Tonus still looking for a way past the 91 of Siwa. These two continue to fight over 4th place. Tell you what, that worked out in the end, didn't it, for Tonus? As he got on the gas, the back end came around, straightened him up nicely to run up towards the start straight. But this is the battle that we're all watching. 18.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go here. Race 2, MXGP of Portugal, the MXGP class. Here in Agata, Clement Nassau has led every single one of the 5 laps at the moment on his Monster Energy Kawasaki, but he is now under serious threat from Tony Cairoli and Tim Geiser. 2 seconds separate the top 3 as Siwa has all of a sudden come under attack and been passed by Arno Tonus. So a change for 4th place then on lap 6. Tonus now back in the driving seat in that little battle. Paulin and Fevre just behind him in 6th and 7th. But Cairoli looking to make a move around the outside. He'll cut back to the outside here at the bottom of this turn. Maybe there's a better line there. Gets in and out early. But Nassau, a 3-time winner here of this Grand Prix back in 2010, 11 and 12. He is doing his best to get himself back on the podium at this very venue. Nassau, only 1 visit to the podium this season. And up 2nd overall at the Netherlands, round 3. Can he do it again here this weekend? Well, a lot depends on the 2 guys behind him, Tony Cairoli and Tim Geiser. 1.6 seconds separate the top 3 guys, but Arno Tonus, who was just 4 seconds behind in 4th place, has just set the fastest lap of the race. A 1:49.6, the guys ahead of him all in the 50s. Are they starting to hold each other up? Here is Tonus. The Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha rider from Switzerland, one of the most stylish riders out on the track. Very technically aware and gifted as well. He'll need to use all of his knowledge to try and close down these riders here. Cairoli goes to lunge down the inside of Nassau, but comes to no effect. Nassau continues to lead. Cairoli doing all he can. This is where he made the mistake early on, just to the corner to the left. He knows he can't hang around behind Nassau. He'll need a pass and go and make it stick as well. Can't afford to worry about Tim Geiser, because Geiser is there. He is lurking dangerously in the background in 3rd place. Again, a switch of lines for the leader and the guy in 2nd position. This time is a bit closer as he heads uphill. Again, goes in tight. Goes to the outside here. It's a better run out of this turn onto pit lane. He'll get a longer jump, but he keeps it nice and short. Full gas, the message from the crew there. Inside. But Cairoli goes for the dirt. Half a second it was last time, but we're still talking tenths of a second between the first 2. Still 1.6 seconds separate the first 3 riders. Alongside the start straight, Cairoli almost caught a hole on the edge of the track there. Still can't find a way past Clement Nassau. 7 laps now. The Belgian has led this Grand Prix race 4, but Cairoli might hit the brakes at the bottom of the hill, make a move, but no. Thought about trying to get alongside the 25. Geiser got the best seat in the house here, you know. Tonus is in 4th. Another look down the inside for TC. This is where he made his mistake in race 1. That cost him the race, potentially. just behind this battle for the lead, involving DeSalle, Cairoli and Geiser, we have Tonus, Siwa, Paul and Febvre, the 4 Yamahas still locked together, disputing that 4th place. Cairoli, is he going to go inside or outside? Well, he gets the door shut in his face. He goes for the tighter line, though. Somehow, he managed to get it stopped on the brakes, and that messes up DeSalle. He comes under attack from Tim Geiser. He goes around the outside. All of a sudden, 1st to 3rd for DeSalle, all because Cairoli went 1 line closer to the inside. DeSalle thought he'd committed to the inside, but not tight enough. Is that going to put him off the podium? Well, we'll soon wait and find out. It might put Tonus on the box, you know. Might have been a game changer right there, this 8th lap. And with 14 minutes plus 2 to go, we might have another sting in the tail. Remember what happened in Trentino 2 rounds ago? Are we in for another dramatic finale here in Portugal? Cairoli leads, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race. Geiser now 2nd. DeSalle on his own in 3rd, Tonus in 4th place, Siwa 5th, Paul 6th, Febvre, Jonas, Koldenoff and Lever your top 10, and the podium as it stands with 13 minutes plus 2 to go. Cairoli on 47, Geiser on 47. Cairoli would pick up the overall if he goes down! Cairoli picks himself up, Tonus goes through as well. Tonus was 3rd on 38, DeSalle on 35, but drama here. Oh, I'll tell you what, once that pressure started to build underneath the aero helmet of Tony Cairoli, whatever it was, Tim Geiser will take that gift wrap, both hands, and gold ribbon. Watch this. Just comes into land, goes to hit the berm, lost the front, boom! Geiser. DeSalle goes through. And Cairoli had just set the fastest lap of the race as well. So Cairoli then sets the fastest lap of the race and then buries his KTM too deep into one of the turns. Geiser, DeSalle, Tonus, Siwa have all gone through. Well, Siwa maybe not, actually, no, it's just there. A lot of work to do now for Cairoli. Nicely done there for Tonus, up on the back wheel, all the way down past pit lane. Soaked up all those braking bumps. But Cairoli then now finds himself in 4th position, 7.5 seconds off the lead. Can he recover? Wow. Right, Tim Geiser leads. He's just set the fastest lap of the race and the fastest first sector as well. Tony Cairoli is 4th. Here's what happened a moment ago to the Red Bull KTM rider. He set the fastest lap of the race. He came down here with Geiser just on his tail. And in that turn here, this is what happened to Cairoli. This is why he's now in 4th place. Came into land, is getting ready to turn left. And lost the front. Just buried his wheels. He's now in 4th place. DeSalle and Tonus have gone through. And they can't believe it down there in Red Bull KTM garage. So what has that done to the podium? Geiser now on course for 2 race wins and 50 points. Tonus looking at 2nd overall at the moment with 2 lots of 3rd places. And Cairoli on 3rd, the same points on 40 with a 2nd and a 4th. But as you can see, Cairoli there, the 222 in 4th place, all over the back of Arno Tonus on the number 4. These two are fighting over 2nd and 3rd. DeSalle is on 37, 4th overall at the moment. He's 2nd in the race on the Kawasaki, and he's just there at the front of the shop. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the race here. DeSalle doing his best to hang on. So too is Tonus. A dramatic turnaround here then, MXGP race 2. Geiser 6.5 seconds clear. Clement DeSalle is in 2nd, but 3rd and 4th is a battle that we're watching here at the moment. Arno Tonus on the podium in Trentino in 2017. missed most of the season last year due to injury. Under attack now. This is a three-way fight for second. And the final podium positions here in MXGP Race 2. And the deciding factor, of course, for those final podium positions in the MXGP of Portugal. Tony Cairoli going to be scratching his head, thinking, right, where now? What now? How do we deal with these two? Jeremy Seaworth, 3 seconds further back in 5th. Gauthier Paulin in 6th. Bevra 7. Jonas 8. Koldenhoff 9. Julian Lieber 10. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek is 11. Simpson is in 12th place. Jasikonis 13. Searle 14. 15th for Lupino. 16th is Benoit Paturel. Bogus, Brilikov, Monticelli and Anton Goal are your top 20. There's Geiser jumping out a shot. Nicely done again for Tonus. Wheelies those last few braking bumps. Closes in on the rear wheel of DeSalle. The Kawasaki maybe a little more punchy coming out of that final turn and over the finish line jump. These guys are separated by about 1.6 seconds. If that. Cairoli having to dig deep here. He had a 40-point advantage at the start of the weekend. Geiser got it down to 37 after that win in race 1. When Cairoli finished second, Cairoli would be on 281, Geiser 251 if it stays like this. So that's a 10-point clawback for Geiser if it stays like this. The gap will be down to 30 points. Heading into France in a week's time. DeSalle, of course, on the hunt for a podium. Been unlucky, picked up a knee injury in Valkenswaard. Cairoli, door shut, slammed in his face. Back end comes around on the Italian, loses more ground to the number 4 of Tonus. But DeSalle injured his knee in Valkenswaard, braved Trentino, had surgery in the 4 or 5 week break that we had after that, picked himself up, 4th overall in Mantova last weekend in the mud. And here he is on course, possibly for getting on the podium, but he's not there at the moment, actually. He's on 37. Tonus and Cairoli are tied for 2nd and 3rd on 40. Of course, Tonus will strengthen his grip on a podium if he finds his way past the Belgian. Everybody hanging over the barriers there, down there in pit lane. And again, Tonus closes in, holds a nice tight line. Nice and smooth on the exit. Nothing in it between those two. Geiser, he's almost at the French Grand Prix. He's got a 9.9 second lead at the moment on that HRC Honda. The intent from Tonus right there. He tried to rattle and it's worked. He charged down the inside of Clement DeSalle, did the number 4. Watch this here in a moment, actually. But DeSalle has now been pushed back to 3rd. Cairoli still struggling in 4th. Geiser then leads, 10 seconds clear. Arno Tonus now 2nd, DeSalle 3rd, Cairoli 4th. Shaping up to be a fantastic Grand Prix, isn't it? We said that at the start of the weekend. Cairoli already made a move on DeSalle, this part of the racetrack. Does exactly the same thing, goes inside, passes the Belgian in exactly the same place. This time, DeSalle thinks about responding urgently and immediately, but no way through. Cairoli now up in the 3rd place. So DeSalle losing 2 positions in the space of about 3/4 of a lap. Right, check this out. Talk about charging down the inside. DeSalle ran wide off the gas. Tonus, though, got to the top of the hill and didn't close the gap on DeSalle. Made the move for second. And then just a short while later, Tony Cairoli also made his move in exactly the same way that he did earlier on in the race. That put Cairoli from 4th to 3rd. Misha DeWaal. Just, I think he went down at the second turn, actually, at the start of the race on the Hudson Metals Yamaha. Tony Cairoli, though, giving chase once again to Arno Tonus, just like he had to earlier on in the race. Currently in second position at the moment in the race. Arno Tonus on the Monster Energy Volvo Yamaha. Here he is, number 4. Got a second in race 1 in Italy in 2017. Took a race win in Switzerland the same year before he missed the next 3 rounds through injury. Sat out all of 2018. Cairoli looking to go around the outside, though. But Tonus is on the podium as we speak, but Cairoli tries to ruffle up the Swiss. Just under 3 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, MXGP Race 2 here. It's the 6th round of the FIA Motocross World Championship. We are at the MXGP of Portugal at Agada. Tim Geiser, 11 seconds clear of Arno Tonus, who is now in second position here, number 4 on the Monster Energy Volvo Yamaha. Tony Cairoli for Red Bull KTM, just the second rider in shot here, who is in 3rd place. And DeSalle is 4th, Siwa is in 5th. But the podium, as you can see, now looks like this. Geiser on 50, Tonus 42, Cairoli 42. So even if Cairoli finds his way through, he's going to be on the podium. Just depends on which position and how many points he loses, because he can do with the 2 extra points if he finds his way past Tonus here, just to try and minimize that gap. Oh, damage limitation, sorry. Because Geiser is closing in on that championship lead. A little bit here and a little bit there. 3 points in race 1. It'll be 5 points here in race 2. An extra 5 points. If he stays where he is. You can see he's trying to work Arno Tonus here. Tonus doing a fantastic job, though, of trying to stay ahead of the 9-time world champ. No way through up there. Incidentally, his last podium, Arno Tonus, came round 5 at Trentino back in 2017 in MXGP. 2 years ago, just over. Cairoli dives around the outside. This time, he gets the power down early and flies by the number 4 of Arno Tonus. That'll give him those 2 extra vital points. And he does it with about 3 laps to go. Geiser already over the line, having completed his 15th lap, but Cairoli knows that he can't afford to relax. He's probably not going to close down that 10-second advantage in the next 3 laps, but you know what? He's going to try and get his head down, and because anything can happen. Geiser taking a look across at the back marker there, Artem Guriev, number 555. Probably held him up in the previous corner, but anything can happen. He can have a simple slip in a corner, just like Cairoli did, and Cairoli will want to be there to pick up the pieces should Geiser make a mistake. Looks unlikely at the moment, though, doesn't it? Definitely brought his A game this weekend as Tim Geiser. He applied the pressure. Tony cracked, possibly in both races. Right, here's Paulin, number 21. All over the back of the 91 of Jeremy Siwa. These two fighting for 5th position. See how wet the track is in 1 or 2 places where Paulin just came to the land and the mud just dispersed from underneath the frame as it bobbed out. Hard, loose, slick conditions here at Agada, Portugal. Jeremy C will be 4th overall. That'll be a career best for him in MXGP as well. It'll be Tonus on the Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha. He'll be on the box in 3rd place if he stays where he is. DeSalle is about 5 seconds behind. Doesn't look like he's going to do anything about him, but the 2-lap board getting ready here for Tim Geiser and Team HRC. A 150.1. Cairoli last time round was a 49.6. Is Geiser now in cruise mode towards the checkered flag. Tony Cairoli hits the line now at 51.2. That gap, 11 seconds, so a good response for Geiser. Tonus is 3rd, 4 seconds behind is DeSalle here on the number 25. Just behind him is Jeremy Seawer. Paulin is in close contention as well. Just at the top of your screen, but Seawer has done a good job just to break the Frenchman's toe momentarily. Good return to action for Romain Fevre. 2 solid motos. Good points on the board from this weekend. Will be good enough for 8th overall. But Gauthier Paulin, Romain Fevre both would have been looking for a strong GP here, particularly this guy here, 21, ahead of his home round at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in a week's time, round 7. On the west coast of France, just an hour north, maybe an hour and a half north of Bordeaux. There is Romain Fevre. Started so well for him, didn't it? The former world champion. 22nd in the championship. Got a 3rd in the first race in Argentina. Looked set for a 2nd top 3 finish that day. All went wrong with just a few minutes to go. Through the wave section, caught an edge, slammed his ankle into the ground. But here's Geiser. About to enter his final lap. And looking at his 2nd double moto victory of the season to add to the one he handed so devastatingly well to Tony Cairoli at Trentino, round 4. So last week the mistakes came from Geiser. This week they've come from Tony Cairoli. But he's there now in 2nd position, about 3 seconds clear of the 2nd and 3rd rider in shot there, Arno Tonus. DeSalle still hanging on for 4th. Seawer still there in 5th place. DeSalle looking at 5th overall then with his combined scores. 6th in race 1, a 4th in race 2. Tim Geiser, he had a scare right at the start of the race when he was almost through the front door, but he's managed to regroup. He's passed some serious guys as well. He was about 6th or 7th going through the first couple of corners. Cairoli was in 2nd, couldn't do anything about DeSalle. Geiser started to close in. Cairoli needed to push the urgency button, which he did, but then he made a mistake at the bottom of one of the hills. Geiser was there to pounce again, just like he was in race 1. And this championship really starting to and fro between these 2 guys. There's Cairoli dropping downhill, just behind him Arno Tonus. But for Tim Geiser and Team HRC, he's going to get the points gap down to 34 with a double moto win here in Portugal. And the championship dream lives on for Tim Geiser. Tony Cairoli, Red Bull KTM, has to be content with 2nd once again, but he will know that it was a bit of a mistake that cost him at the bottom of the hill. 3rd for Arno Tonus, and he is going to be on the podium for Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha. And that is the first time in more than 2 years for the Swiss rider. Fantastic ride for the number 4. 1st, 2nd, 3rd in the race. 1st, 2nd, 3rd in the Grand Prix. But it's Tim Geiser who picks up all the points and closes down the championship to Tony Cairoli ahead of round 7. The Slovenian fans then, they will crowd out the podium, those that have made the trip here to Portugal to sing along to the national anthem of Slovenia with Tim Gajser. But what a fantastic day here for Team HRC. Another GP decided by mistakes possibly, but he won't care about that. Cairoli 2-2, Gajser 1-1. But Arno Tonis, probably the ride of the day for me. 3-3 for third overall. Welcome back, Arno Tonis. Anyway, here's Lisa Leyland with our winner from round 6, Tim Gajser.
Tim Gajser, congratulations. A double moto victory. You got the overall, and more importantly, you've clawed back some valuable championship points.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I was enjoying all weekend, and yeah, we have a solid start, and then I kind of like take time to pass the guys in front of me, and then Tony make a mistake, and then I was in front, and then just control the race. So it was like just unbelievable. I'm so happy.
Well deserved. Thanks, Tim.
Bravo!
Tim Gajser then wipes the demons clear from Mantova a week ago, and he bounces back in devastating fashion here at Portugal. 1-1 for Tim Gajser. The points gap now 34 points between him and Tony Cairoli. It was 40 at the start of the day. Inching away at that championship lead, Tim Gajser, your winner here in Portugal. Race classification then, Tim Gajser wins it for Team HRC, Tony Cairoli, Red Bull KTM second, Arno Tonis, Monster Energy Wilbo Yamaha third, Monster Energy Kawasaki of DeSalle fourth, Paulin fifth, Febvre sixth for Monster Energy Yamaha. Seventh was Jonas for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, Koldenhoff eight, standing Construct KTM, Lieber 9, Siwa 10. Siwa fell back to 10th in the end then. Jessiconis 11, Van Horbeek, Simpson, Lupino, Brilikov, Monticelli, Petrel, Leot, Petrov and goal. Tim Gajser wins the Grand Prix here this weekend, then round 6 of the FI Motocross World Championship in Agata. 2 wins out of 2 for him. Cairoli 2 seconds, Tonis 2 thirds. DeSalle 4th overall, Siwa 5th. And of course, we'll see the championship standings in a moment, but Cairoli arrived here 40 points clear of Tim Gajser at the start of the day. Of course, 2 wins, 2 seconds, the difference there, 3 points and 3 points in each race. So that gap clawed back by 6. So 34 points heading into France, round 7 in a week's time. But it's Cairoli who continues to lead the championship. Paulin stays 3rd, DeSalle up to 4th as he was after race 1, Jessiconis 5th after finishing 11th again in race 2. But Arno Tonis climbs 3 positions. He's now inside the top 10 in 9th position. And, well, that'll be a welcome relief for him and all of the Monster Energy Wilbo Yamaha squad. KTM not dominating the Manufacturers' Championship, but they are 25 points clear of Honda. Yamaha just a little bit further back in 3rd. Take a look at the foxhole shot, shall we? Broadsiding their way into the first turn. It was a toss-up between DeSalle and Arno Tonis, but it's Tonis for Monster Energy Wilbo Yamaha who takes his first foxhole shot of the year. Tony Cairoli on 8, Julian Lieber on 2, Tonis on 1, Gajser on 1. So 4 riders picking up foxhole shots so far in 2019. What a fantastic Grand Prix here in Portugal, round 6. Podium time here. Arno Tonis, welcome back to the podium, my friend. Monster Energy Wilbo Yamaha MXGP stands proudly on the 3rd step of the podium here. And it'll be the first time in 2 years for the Swiss rider. Tony Cairoli, always popular here, but second best this weekend. 2 seconds for the 222 and Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, because Tim Gajser for Team HRC is your overall winner. And that feels good. Bouncing back after his problems last weekend at Lombardia, round 5. And he picks up all the points here this weekend. 2 wins out of 2. And Team HRC on the top step of the podium for the second time this season. Trentino was the first, and here again in Portugal. Tony Cairoli still yet to finish outside of the top 2 positions, though, in 2019. But Arno Tonis, wow, it was a tough season last year, didn't ride at all. He was 4th overall at Trentino, 3rd here in Portugal, his first visit in 2 years. Tony Cairoli 2nd overall for only the 2nd time this year. He does have 3 wins as well, doesn't he? Argentina, Great Britain, the Netherlands and Lombardia. But Tim Geiser, your overall Grand Prix winner here. And for Geiser, that's win number 17 now. Edging closer to that 20 mark. Giacomo Garibaldi will gladly and proudly accept the team trophy. Garibaldi Team HRC, of course. But Tony Cairoli will continue to hold on to the red plate. That gap now coming down from 40 to 34. Delivered this weekend by Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM-CMS director. But your top 3 here in Portugal: Tim Geiser, Tony Cairoli and Arno Tonis.
Agora, o hino da Eslovénia.
Top 3 overall here, round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Portugal in Agata. Tim Geiser goes 1-1, Tony Cairoli 2-2, Arno Tonis back on the podium in 3rd with a 3-3, and boy, is he going to enjoy that tonight and into next week. But we'll talk to the top 3 in just a few moments, but let's enjoy some of the best moments from MXGP Race 2.
Geiser, congratulations. You applied the pressure in both races. You were right where you needed to be when Tony went down. And like you said, you controlled the race.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Last weekend we were struggling. Didn't ride well, but this week we regrouped and had an amazing race. So I'm really thankful and want to say a huge thank you to all my team. All the fans, also some fans from Slovenia came here, so it's nice to see Slovenian flags and just everybody, around me. We work really hard for this, and I'm so happy. Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you. Second overall today, we have Tony Cairoli. Tony, you set the fastest lap, then you lost the front end. Gave yourself a lot of work to do in that second race. I guess you're kicking yourself a little bit.
Yeah, not so happy, of course, but I mean, it's part of racing, you know, mistakes are part of racing. First moto, I stole my bike there, and then team could pass. And that second moto, yeah, I was struggling to pass the Sal in the beginning, so I was a little bit riding not very well, and then I had a little bit arm pump. And then finally I find the place, I passed him, but I made a small mistakes, but could cost me a lot because it was on a very fast place, the crash. But luckily I was okay, no, nothing hurt. And yeah, team passed, and I was back to 4. So I had to work back to second, and for sure it's not what you expect after a good race in last week in Mantova. But of course this is part of racing, and the team was very strong today, so they deserved the win. But of course for the championship, holding control and good race.
Okay, thank you. Third overall today, we have Arno Tonas. Arno, 2 third-place finishes. You took the foxhole shot. You got your first podium in, I think, 2 years. Must be such a relief.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to be up here. I'm so thankful. I really want to thank Louis and the whole team. You know, they stuck behind me during a really tough year, and being back on the podium after what I've been through is unbelievable. I'm so happy. I want to thank everybody. And yeah, I don't know what to say about smiling, and want to say also hi to my grandfather at home. I'm sure he's watching, and I just want to say hi to him, and thanks to everybody.
Well deserved. Thanks, Arno.
Yeah, great return to the podium for number 4, Arno Tonas on the Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha. A brace of third-place finishes, his first podium in 2 years. The last one was 2017 at Trentino, round 4. Boy, he'll be looking forward to France in a week's time. Tony Cairoli, though, a couple of mistakes in both races cost him. Maybe the second one a little bit frustrated, having not been able to find a way past Clement de Sal, but he'll bounce back. He's still in control of the championship, though. 34 points the gap between him and Geiser. The HRC rider was resurgent here this weekend. He bagged both race wins. He closes the points gap to 34. Round 7 is in a week's time at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Boy, this kid knows how to bounce back, doesn't he? Congratulations, Tim Geiser and Team HRC, winners here in Portugal. Well, we are out of time. It's been a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend of racing here at round 6. Join us next time when the FIM Motocross World Championship resumes in a week's time, of course, at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, the MXGP of France. My name's Paul Malin. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then, and hopefully you can join us live from the track, as always. Thanks for your time today. As always, appreciated. See you then. Bye for now.